Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gina Marie Agderian. I am the author of the novel The Letters in the Old House, available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. I will link my book in the description below. So today is, of course, another episode of Book Talk. For those of you who are unfamiliar with my Book Talk series, this is a series where I talk about a book that I recently read. I talk about what I liked about it, maybe what I didn't like about it, and what types of readers I would recommend the book to. So today we are talking about the Audrey Hepburn Estate by Brenda Janowitz. Now, two things I love about this book. Number one, I love Audrey Hepburn. If you follow me on social media, I post a lot of pictures and quotes pertaining to Audrey Hepburn. And the second thing is I love Brenda Janowitz. She's a great author. I always feel so good while reading her books. And after reading her books, she just writes really good feel-good stories. So if you've read the Grace Kelly Dress or the Liz Taylor Ring, those are all very much in line with her newest novel, The Audrey Hepburn Estate. So I would definitely give this book a 4.5 out of 5. I just really enjoyed it, so I'll talk about why. Number one, of course, I love Audrey Hepburn. So this story is about a young woman named Emma who, and in true Brenda Janowitz fashion, she goes back and forth between the past and the present, and you see how the past affects the present, and you see two stories unfolding at the same time, which I absolutely love. I love that type of storytelling. So this story is about a young woman named Emma who grew up on an estate in Long Island, and she was the daughter of two of the folks who worked for the family that owned the estate. She began a romance with the family's grandson, and then meanwhile she had her best friend Leo, whose father was the driver for the family that owned the estate. So it's kind of like a love triangle situation, and you see them going back and forth, of course, between past and present. And the story very much mimics the movie Sabrina, which is another Audrey Hepburn movie, not as well known, of course, as Breakfast at Tiffany's. I think that was probably her most well-known movie, but this mimics Sabrina, which follows a young woman who's the daughter of somebody who works for a wealthy family, and falls in love, and again, another whole kind of love triangle situation. But anyway, what Brenda Janowitz did with this book was really clever, because she put a lot of Audrey Hepburn Easter eggs into this book, which I picked up on a lot of them. Of course, the plot somewhat mirroring Sabrina, with, of course, a modern twist and Brenda Janowitz's own spin on it. But not only did she go through the trouble of putting these little Easter eggs in the book, but she also went through the trouble of putting the Easter eggs at the back of the book and telling you exactly where they are, which I love, because there were some that I totally did not pick up on at all. So she truly did do her research. And I think Brenda Janowitz's passion for older celebrities, that old Hollywood, the classic era of Hollywood, really shines in all of her stories. So as always, I don't want to give too much away and have this as a spoiler, but this book really does make you feel so good at the end of it. So going through the love triangle, and how Emma, who's the main character, turns out as a person. She becomes a really successful caterer. Leo becomes a very successful business person, and then Henry is successful, of course, in his own right in the art world, and you just kind of see how everything comes together. This book also is about the sale of this Audrey Hepburn Estate. You learn how the estate got its name, the Audrey Hepburn Estate, which is mentioned in the book, and how Emma does not want to see that place sold for a number of different reasons, and things that she thought were true about her life you find out later that they were not so true. And she finds out truths about her life that completely shock her. Again, I'm not going to spoil the book for anybody. So anyway, I really enjoyed this book. Grab this book if you're looking for something that's really feel good, that's going to make you feel good while reading it. And then at the end, because Brenda always is able to do that for me, grab this book also if you enjoy that type of storytelling where you go from past to present and the pieces fall together that way. I just find things so much more interesting that way when a story is written, especially with the types of novels that she writes, where a lot of what's going on in the present is heavily dictated by the past. So again, I do recommend this book. It's a great summer read, but you don't have to read it in the summer. This is just a good all year round book, but definitely light enough where you can bring it to the beach or the pool or the lake or wherever you're hanging out this summer. So let me know in the comments if you've read this book, if you enjoyed it, or if you plan to read it. And as always, guys, happy reading.